Welcome back to Gonagain. It's not even Christmas yet. In fact, it's not even winter yet, but it's gusting 40 miles an hour outside and it's cold and there's snow on the ground. And what do we think about when it turns to weather like that? Well, we think about heat. Let's talk about heaters. Yeah, this fall in Montana has kind of been a bad one. We've already had 2 record snowfalls, and they were bad. Linda and I haven't been getting out and doing any camping. It's just not fun to be out there when the wind is howling. I don't mind being out in the cold when the wind's not blowing, but Montana, it blows. Yeah, Linda doesn't mind going camping in the snow. That's pretty good for a girl born and raised in Hawaii. She'll go camping in the snow with me, but you know the roads up in the mountains, they get bad, and then I don't know. I don't like the cold and damp. It's actually better when it's like near 0 with no wind than it is when it's like 20 and the wind is howling, you know. But Linda's a good sport. She actually goes along. You know, I've done some videos in the past on heating your RV. I've talked about wood-burning stove, and I've talked about the Mr. Heater stoves, and I've talked about the New Way stove that Linda and I prefer. And, you know, since I made those videos, the Chinese diesel heaters have come onto the market, and they've gotten real popular, and people ask me about those. And today I'm going to give you my personal opinion on those. And it's not good or it's not bad, but we'll talk about them. I'll tell you why I don't care to have one myself, and I'll talk about some propane options that you can get that will work very well in your RV. To begin with, I'm not talking about big RVs. Usually they have forced air propane ducted heating systems, which are really nice. Linda and I had a 26-foot trailer years ago, and it had forced air propane heat. It was quiet, it was warm, it was just like being at home. You know, there was even a duct in the bathroom where warm air came out. It was really nice. We also had a 19-foot trailer that had a non-ducted forced air propane furnace, and it was really noisy, and all night long, every time it would come on, it would jolt you awake because it was so noisy. Those kind of heaters aren't exactly efficient either. They use a lot of electricity. They don't work for boondocking because they use so much electricity. They'll burn up a 12-volt lead-acid battery in one night. When I say burn up, I mean they'll use it up. It won't even hardly last through the night running those systems. So they don't work for us because we do a lot of boondocking. What's gotten really popular lately has been the Chinese diesel heaters, and they're not very expensive. They run from $150 to $200. There's plenty of them on the market, whether you choose one that you build into your RV or ones that are self-contained with a handle on the top, and you just kind of plug the duct into your RV. And now, speaking of RVs here, I started to tell you about that. I'm talking about mainly vans and cargo trailers, maybe cargo trailers up to about a 7x16. That's what I'm talking about heating today. I'm familiar with the old Eberspacher's that they put in Volkswagens back in the day, and they were the same kind of a heater, but they ran on gasoline. The new Chinese diesel heaters, they have some really good points to them. For one thing, they're fairly easy to install. You generally build them into a cabinet and you run a duct out, you know, with a vent on the front, and it comes out from underneath your cabinet or something. You can install one in a day, pretty easy. There's no hole in the roof for a vent to go up through the roof. They generally vent out the side of your RV or even out the floor. If you're careful with that, you don't want all that carbon monoxide fumes coming up through your flooring, so you'd want to vent it out to the side. But no holes in the roof, that's a plus. The fuel is easy to find because it's just diesel fuel. There's some things though that make it so that I don't really care for them myself for my own personal use, and One is that I've been around diesel enough. I don't like the smell. I definitely don't want the smell of diesel in my small RV or my small cargo trailer here. I don't want to take a chance on that. One little leak and that diesel will stink for days or even weeks. So that's probably my biggest thing, is I don't like the smell of diesel in here. Now, you should mount the tank outside, so you'll be doing your filling and of the tank. The tank should be mounted somewhere on the outside of your trailer. If you could figure that out, that's the best idea. But even if you change the fuel pump inside your trailer or something like that, you're bound to get that diesel smell into your trailer that way. That's probably my biggest thing that I have against them. Another thing that kind of keeps me from buying one is that they're complex. And if you know me and if you follow my videos, I keep things as simple as possible. So, you know, anything that has a fuel pump and an igniter on it and a blower, that's all, to me, that's asking for trouble. And when it comes to a heater, I want to turn it on. I want it to work. So for the long term, they might not be a good idea, especially with the vibration in the trailer and everything. But I don't know, they seem to be working out for some people. Leave comments below if you've got a problem with yours or if yours has been working perfect. I'd really like to hear it. The other thing is they use electricity, and if you're boondocking for a couple weeks at a time, that might be a problem. Even if you have solar, when are you using heat? You're using heat when long rainy days and cloudy, long periods of cloudy, cold days, and you may have a problem getting enough electricity to run these. Now I know they just sip electricity, but it is a blower, and it's gonna run down your batteries eventually if you can't recharge them. And the one last thing is, in a small area like this, it's the noise again. Every time it cycles on during the night, it would wake me up. I've been through that, don't like it. I just like nice quiet heat. I don't mean to badmouth these diesel heaters. That's just my reasons for not wanting one myself personally. What I've chosen is propane. Now, propane has its own list of faults. The big one is they put a lot of moisture into the air. Now, the heaters I'm referring to are like the Mr. Heater. It's non-vented, it's non-catalytic, and it's non-vented. And even like the Wave 3s, which are catalytic and they're more efficient, but they still dump a lot of moisture into the air. You're going to end up with moisture running down your windows. You're going to end up with moisture off the screws and any metal trim. You're going to end up with moisture running down. So I steer clear of those. I've had bad experiences in the past with that. The heat that I prefer is a vented propane heater. And for small outfits like this, there's a few on the market that you might be interested in. The one that we chose is the New Way heater, which I've done videos on in the past. We've got the smallest one in here. It's about 12,000 BTUs. It's the Model 2000. And right now, I just checked today, and at New Way stoves, it goes for $189. Very simple to install. You do have to put a vent up through your roof. I did mine years ago. It has never leaked. These are metal roofs. They're easy to seal around the sheet metal or whatever. I've never had a problem with leaking, so that doesn't concern me at all. My stove has a 3-inch vent on it. It's easy to light. I can let it run all night and not worry about it. You do have to have some air coming in. You've got to let some air into your trailer. Now, on these cargo trailers, they've got these vents. So there is this 3-inch vent, which is always open up here. And with a 3-inch flue, it's not going to start suffocating for air. These things, you've got to have enough air coming in to let the air go up the flue on these. But beyond that, we always crack a window too. Of course, it's important that you have, your carbon monoxide detector and also a smoke detector in your outfit. This is my stove here. I'm going to light that in a minute because it's freezing cold in here. Well, lighting this is really simple. Set the valve to where you want it. People always freak out when they see me turn this valve and not light it, but no gas is coming out until you push the plunger over here. So you set the valve to where you want it, and then all you do is put the lighter inside and hold this down and it'll light right away. So this is real simple. It lights that easy. Hold the button down for about 30 seconds. That warms up the thermocouple. And that's it. Then adjust to where you want it. It'll really roast you out. This is burning nice and blue. These flames are adjustable though, and any gas stove, including the natural gas, if you cook on a gas range in your house, there's an air shutter that needs to be adjusted for altitude. We're at 3,500 feet here and we're always up high. I usually leave the air shutter open all the way. Let me show you what the air shutter is. I'm going to turn the light back on here. The air shutter is right here in front. This is where the air comes in. And by loosening this little Phillips head screw, you can turn this barrel here and you can open and close this air shutter. So like if your flame was burning really yellow, you would just loosen this and you would rotate this little barrel around here to open up this hole over here some more to let more air in. Down at sea level, you might have this closed down about halfway. I don't know. I'm never down at sea level, so I wouldn't know. But anyways, that adjusts the color of your flame. This one's burning really nice blue, a little yellow at the top. That's okay. An air shutter. Now, of course, the one thing about these is they take up space. Now, I love this stove so much that it can have all the space it wants. I don't mind that at all, but maybe space isn't something that you have. In that case, there's an answer for that. So if you don't have the space for these, then one thing you could get is a wall-hung unit. And Dickinson Marine has one. I'll put some links here in the video, in the description down below. They make for marine use, they make wall-hung propane stoves. They make propane heaters, and they're vented through through the roof or through the deck of your boat in that case. But people use them in RVs, and depending on which one you get, the flue size varies from 1 inch to 2.5 inches. They're more expensive, these units are. They start at around $500 and go up to about $900, but they're beautiful, and they just hang on the wall. So if you've got a little wall space, you could install one of them very easy. Of course, they're easy to light and they burn clean. So a heater like that and some kind of fan to move the heat around, whether it's I just use a little USB fan that in this little 6x10, it moves the heat around fine. Or bigger trailer, just a bigger fan and move the heat around. That works very well, even in really cold. Hey, did you see my video about heating this trailer when it was 15 below zero out? A lot of people saw that one. But anyways, this little stove warmed it up to 65, 70 degrees in here. It took a little while, but yeah, it got it up there, and it was toasty in here. Well, anyways, this heater is what Linda and I like to use. Like I say, those marine heaters are really good. They're more expensive. This was under $200. Works beautifully if you've got the room for it. If you don't, go with a wall-hung one. And by the way, the heat is dry because it's vented, doesn't put any moisture into the air. It's just like having a little wood burner in your trailer or your van or whatever. Pretty nice. Stay tuned for videos from Arizona because we're heading that way pretty soon. Get down there where it's nice and warm and can be outside in the evening time and watch the stars. I love that. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you around.